This week, Prep 2, your art lesson is inspired by David Hockney. Now, David Hockney is a famous British artist. This is what he looks like. And he is very famous for creating some pop art in the 1960s. That's not the only thing he's famous for though, because he is still a living and practicing artist even today. And he is really quite famous at the moment for adapting his artistic techniques. So when he became famous, he did these big paintings of swimming pools inspired by his travels in America. And they are probably his most famous works, but he's also done lots of other things, including landscape paintings, paintings of portraits of people, and he has even now begun creating art using an iPad or an iPhone. He's adapting to new techniques in art, and it is really lovely to see. You can have a look online and Google him and find out some more about some of his artwork. Today, we are going to be inspired by his landscapes. We have been thinking in our topic work this week about the wonderful world that we live in. Now, landscapes are when we look at the world around us and we can interpret them in the way that we want to. David Hockney's landscapes are full of colour and joyful movement, and that's what we're going to try to capture today in our own artwork. So get hold of some materials at home. They could be crayons, paints, felt tips, pencils, pastels, anything that you've got you can use today. And we are going to have a look over here in a second and have a go at creating a David Hockney inspired landscape. I'm going to start my work using the road to shape my picture. Now, we're going to use something called perspective today, and perspective is the way that our eyes see things that are closer to us as bigger than things that are farther away. So the road that I'm going to draw is going to start off quite big and wide, and as it moves through my picture, it's going to get smaller. And eventually it will disappear. Okay, so now I've got my road penciled in, I'm going to think, just like David Hockney, about adding in some of the fields. Now I'm just doing this very lightly, and I'm using my imagination, and I am also looking just at my laptop screen, which I've got next to me, with some of David Hockney's work on it. And I am dividing up the fields into some patchwork. I think here I'm going to add in some trees. Now that I have penciled out my drawing, I can start to add some of the colour. So there it is, prep 2. That's my version, or my inspired version, of David Hockney's work of Garrowby Hill. I have used my big winding road going all the way through. I've used lots of different materials and some bright colours. I've tried to use some lighter colours on the tops of the trees and some lighter colours here to show where the sun is shining, and some darker areas to show where it's a bit darker. And hopefully you will enjoy creating your own version of this.